So, what is struggle? To me, struggle is the gap between where you are today and where you're trying to be. It's that space between your current reality and your desired future. And here's the important thing: struggle is neither inherently good nor bad. Some struggles shape us. They build resilience, strengthen our character, and teach us lessons that success never could. In that sense, struggle can be one of life's greatest teachers. But not every struggle is productive. Sometimes, there are deeper patterns that make a person's journey far more difficult. You may have the talent, the potential, and the willingness to work hard, yet your efforts don't translate into the results you expect. When that happens repeatedly, it often leads to frustration, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. Struggle can show up in many different ways. It might be grieving a loss that you just can't seem to move on from. It could be working relentlessly while seeing little or painfully slow progress. It might mean learning a skill, failing over and over again, and still not being able to turn that skill into something meaningful or financially rewarding. Or struggle can appear in the simplest moments of everyday life, finding it difficult to get out of bed in the morning, feeling constantly drained, or lacking the motivation to do things you once enjoyed. The truth is, everyone struggles. The difference lies in why they struggle. And understanding the root cause of that struggle is often the first step to deal with it. In this video, I'm going to share some important palmistry signs that suggest periods of struggle and challenges in a person's life. We'll go through each sign one by one and understand what it means. So, make sure you watch until the end, because every sign adds another piece to the puzzle, and you're going to learn a lot about the fascinating art of palm reading. The first sign to observe is the overall quality and color of the major lines: the heart line, head line, and life line. The heart line represents emotions, the head line reflects mental stability, intelligence, and decision-making, while the life line shows vitality, stamina, and energy levels. Now, if all these major lines appear very thick, heavy, and brownish or reddish in color, and the palm itself looks dull, brownish, patchy, or marked with spots, then this is not considered a very refined or healthy-looking palm in palmistry. By healthy, I mean a palm that looks clear, balanced, fresh, and naturally appealing. In such cases, this often suggests that the person may be more suited toward physical, manual, or labor-intensive work rather than highly intellectual or skill-based work. This does not mean the person lacks value. Every form of work has its own importance. However, this type of hand often shows that the person may struggle to move into more refined, specialized, or higher-paying professional fields. The real struggle begins when the person gets stuck in the same cycle of labor for many years without upgrading their skills according to the changing world. Time moves forward, industries change, technology advances, but the person may remain trapped in the same pattern of work. This creates a kind of financial stagnation. Mentally, the person may accept it and continue with life, but financially, this can become a clear sign of long-term struggle. Whenever a line originating from inside the lifeline crosses and cuts through the lifeline and, in more severe cases, continues on to cut the fate line as well, both instances are considered unfavorable in palmistry. These are referred to as Rahu lines or obstacle lines. Different schools of palmistry may use different names, but the underlying interpretation is largely the same. When such a line cuts only the lifeline, it typically indicates that the source of trouble lies in domestic or family matters. This is what's causing the person's worry or disturbance during that phase of life. However, when the line extends further, to cut both the lifeline and the fate line, it signifies that the trouble will spill over into the person's career, business dealings, financial matters, or professional life, leading to frustration and setbacks in worldly pursuits. Both configurations are considered unfavorable, but the second is more far-reaching in its impact. As a general rule, the greater the number of such obstacle lines present on the palm, the more pronounced the indication of struggle during that corresponding period of life. If you notice horizontal lines across the first, second, and third phalanges of the Saturn finger, and the Saturn finger itself appears abnormal in its shape, pay close attention. If this is accompanied by a prominent or raised mount of Saturn, marked with horizontal or crisscrossing lines, it is a sign of struggle and problems on a regular basis. From my personal observations over the years, individuals with this combination often experience greater struggles in their career and financial life. Progress tends to come slowly, opportunities may be delayed, and they often have to work much harder than others to achieve the same results. Another characteristic I have frequently noticed is a tendency towards solitude. Many such individuals prefer to keep to themselves, maintain a small social circle, and enjoy spending time alone. Some are reluctant to marry, while others may marry but still feel emotionally detached, or as though they don't fully belong within the relationship. Of course, these are tendencies, not certainties, and the entire hand should always be considered before reaching any conclusion. He or she exhibits a slightly yellow tinge in the eyes, attributed to excess bile production in the body, which can contribute to a certain friction in their overall presence or personality, making social integration more difficult. The fingers channel energy toward their respective mounts. When the Saturn finger is covered with multiple horizontal lines, that flow is repeatedly obstructed. If the energy then reaches a heavily developed mount of Saturn that is itself crossed by horizontal or crisscrossing lines, another level of obstruction is created. Symbolically, this represents repeated delays, obstacles, and frustrations, particularly in matters related to career, finances, responsibility, and life's overall progress. The fate line, also known as the Saturn line, is one of the most important lines in palmistry. It is associated with a person's career, profession, job stability, career growth, changes in occupation, material success, and, in some cases, major life events that can indirectly influence one's professional life, including separation or divorce. A wavy fate line often indicates that the person keeps changing direction. At one stage, they may feel a particular profession is right for them, but after some time, they begin to doubt their choice and move toward a different career. This pattern can repeat several times throughout life. When the fate line, also known as the Saturn line, extends all the way upward and actually enters the third phalange of the Saturn finger, it suggests that Saturn's influence becomes excessively dominant in the person's life. From my observations, people with this marking often feel that life is a constant test. They will experience delays in achieving success, periods of instability, recurring setbacks, or a persistent sense that progress comes only after tremendous effort. It is not that success is impossible, but rather that every achievement seems to demand greater patience and endurance than it does for most people. In palmistry, too much of any planetary influence is not considered beneficial. This excessive influence is believed to attract delays, challenges, and what many people perceive as bad luck. Every hand is different, and if you want a detailed analysis of your own palm, you can find the link at the end of this video or in the video description. Check out Money is Coming signs in palm reading by clicking on the I button. Share this video with your family and friends. And don't forget to subscribe, with those notifications on. As always, thanks for watching.